Hey, this is Chris McElligott Park. This is a little code review. This is going to be useful for any mod coders in particular. It has to do with the pooling that we're doing now, which prevents a memory leak. So this is assuming Visual Studio 2019 Community Edition, which is free, but only works on Windows. I mean, yeah, your mileage may vary on other platforms. It does work on Mac. Um, I just updated the civilian industries section and figured I would do something more challenging now that I've got a handle on that. So there's the way that Badger usually adjusted his factions has been to have some sort of external data um, thing over here. We've got our external data um, folder with all the classes in it, and each one has some extension methods and so on. But the thing is, they don't really have much actual data directly on them. There is an array of objects that's passed in. It says target here. It's called data and the underlying data structure. That gets cleared by me centrally automatically, so you don't have to worry about that part. So anything that's in here in that, for one, usually isn't even stored. And if it was, it would be cleared anyway, assuming that when initialized data is called, you reassign over it. Now, there's always the vague chance of not calling initialized data, which would be having all sorts of problems. But what I've taken to doing with these is either just marking the clear all my data for quit domain menu or before new map, either marking it as there's nothing to do here, it's just a little comment, or if there is a singular object, as there typically is, assigning that to null, just so that we're sure that gets garbage collected. There's a few weird classes that don't follow the pattern. These may have been Keith or they were early Badger, and those were just kind of setting them directly. This doesn't really do a whole lot. This is really not why we're here, but I did want to show the difference because these things have the same method on them. So when we look at something like, let's look at the Zenith Trader, which for some reason it's called Zenith Trader in the code. I don't remember if Badger or I wrote that, but yeah. So this one, Setsuna has verified as has some sort of problem where, well, I mean, it just stops. It just sits there for like 45 minutes, and it's a problem that persists through save games, like quitting out to the main menu and loading back in, but it does not persist after you close the program, reopen it, and load the save game. So we know for sure that's a pooling problem, and no amount of people submitting save games is going to fix it. And so the absolutely only possible solution is code review. So Zenith Trader here, I've got it set so that it automatically selects whatever I've got. And then the nice thing is you can go in and see the classes and so forth here. And then you can see all of the various properties. Now, there's a couple of different ways that I've been trying to handle this. One was I had this clever thing where I was going to show you. It's like, you just copy that and then bring that over to Notepad++, and then just do this kind of replace, where if you copy, select these and copy, and then paste over here, except that doesn't work from the solution view. You actually have to turn on the class view, and then you can select things. It's not the same thing. It's really annoying because you have to find it. When you select things, they show up here. So you just take this part and then say replace all with the extended stuff so that you've got the, and it means a new line. And then voila, you then have this sort of result, and you can paste this in here. And I was even like, oh, you know what, instead of just doing value, which of course is always going to be wrong, but in null, and then you can just check the ones that didn't take a null and deal with them appropriately. And then when I actually did that and got into the code, it was a real, this is what I was going to show you, and you can do it this way, but I think it's not wise for a couple reasons. Anyway, so this is in civilian industries here. The one where I did it was here, and hooray, I pasted all of these as equals null. But what happens is that I would have introduced a permanent bug in this one, because ignore resource is normally set in the constructor. These are also normally set in the constructor. And so if I was nulling those out, then on the second run, these things would have some sort of random error somewhere, and I'd be chasing that forever. That's really annoying. You know, one nice solution, just since I'm sitting here anyway, is, you know, we don't want to be reassigning something like that. And since we are wanting to make sure that we don't accidentally reassign that, we can just do that. And honestly, oopsies, what did I? Oh, I see. This is an enum, so this one again, ignore resource. Like if I'm being as efficient as possible, and then this must be read-only, so we don't accidentally do something. And then instead of doing this, which is wasteful, we just switch this to a quick for int I equals 0, I less than length I plus plus, ignore resource I equals false. All right, so that wouldn't have been a memory leak. It just would have been heap churn. And so that is, you know, an improved version. So, but the overall point is, yeah, some of this has to do with the design of the constructor. You're going to have to look at the constructor and see what's going on in there. The really, really key thing, the one that was killing this, is the fact that faction data was not being set to null. And so in here, I don't even know where faction data is assigned. I'm assuming that okay, there we go. So if we don't yet have it, then create it. Get civilian faction external. That thing has its data stored its own way. But yeah, this would never trip off if we do that. So we would immediately have last game's data, essentially. So blanket bunch of nulls and stuff is a way to go. This is what I was working with before, but I don't care to do that again. Let's look at the Zenith Trader. So I'm going to ignore the class view, not do my fancy thing over here from Notepad++, not use class view. We're going to use Solution Explorer, and that's it. So let's start on this one. So now we're to the point where we've identified a lot of things that don't matter, and we've kind of taken a really fast and disjointed look through the civilian industries one. Here's the meat of it. So, all right, 9 minutes in, 9:30 in. All right, so because I've got this selected over here, this is this. So I can look in here. You can see these are my various properties. And thing is, I can't copy and paste from here. Control-C, Control-V, and it's just pasting the last thing up it cut or copied. That's an annoying feature of Visual Studio. I don't know what's up. But the important thing is that it is showing you the types. So I can appropriately resolve these things. So I can click on these as well and see this. So like, okay, this is an override thing. That shouldn't ever be reset anyway. Tracing name, same thing. I can just ignore that in general from now on. Respawn time. Is there some reason this is going to be reset? Yeah. Yep. All right. So, I mean, I can go ahead and... Does that really matter? No, time existed plus respawn time. So it's like, well, you know what? Just be clean while I'm in here and make sure that it's clear what this is. Why not just a little sanitation here? So, okay. Respawn allowed. How does this ever get set to anything else? I don't think it does. So I'm going to make it a constant just so that, let's see if I can compile. Yep, sure can. All right. Well, so that was a like feature from whatever. So what's going on in here? So, all right, this is, now we're getting somewhere. Here again, I'm going to make this read only just to make sure that I don't accidentally do something. Now, there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's individual trader data, and oh, it's showing what planets it went to recently and some other stuff. We can blow that out. What did I just do? I closed that whole wrong file. All right. Okay. That was further down the same file, which I didn't register. So, individual trader data, that needs to absolutely be cleared. I'm making it read-only like this so that I can be sure that it's never empty. And, you know, for an FYI for other people, I'm putting in notes there. Have loaded data. This is, it's from external constants stuff. If I reset this stuff, then I do need to reset that. But, so in what circumstance would it matter that I reload that? None. There's absolutely nothing. Even if we were to reload the XML, it wouldn't reload this part because it would be reloading it off of... If you were developing for the game and you were changing an external constant, and in order to test your changes, you were changing the expansions or mods and having it reload, then this would not be reflected here, and your test would still show the old value. That is the sole case in which this stuff matters. So I don't see any reason to mess with that at all. That stuff doesn't... This is just, part of it is like, yeah, sure, maybe you should be absolutely, completely clear on everything here. But, and just have an entry for everything up here. And with the central classes, that's been my go-to. But here, that doesn't make any sense. It's not a good idea. So, I mean, that's it. That's all that's in this thing. I can't necessarily fathom why exactly this broke the... num traders. Where's that? Okay, that's being recalculated each camel case for variables inside methods. So we know that's what that is. So I only do camel case on these when they're private. But okay, so Zenith Trader. This should solve it. I don't know why. It doesn't look like that would. I'm guessing that. I mean, it's possible. So Setsuna was reporting that it was stuck on this for a really long time, like 45 minutes. It just sat on one planet. So that makes me think that there's a little bit of a bug here in general. Mm, we never removed from that. All right. This is going to be pretty inefficient, but that's because it's a list. But it's like, while previous amounts that count greater than 10, you're just going to remove at 0. This is going to absolutely stink performance-wise because it has to move every item in the list there. Normally we remove off the end, but the end is where the most recent stuff is. So, you know, honestly, we're ever looking back more than just one? Yeah, we are. Because we get it on a queue. Stack, rather. Yeah, alright. Well, anyway. This will only really ever remove one thing at a time because as soon as it hits 10, it'll just do that. So, I don't know if this is really Setsuna's bug or not. That might mean I have bugs elsewhere. But this is certainly not conducive to happiness long term, having this sort of unexpected stuff. So let's look at something really complicated. Let's do the Dark Zenith. So there's a lot of stuff in this thing. So that's the global data for this thing. I wonder how you get the global data. Well, special faction Dark Zenith. This is where we're going to start anyway. Our external to do. So let's see what's in here. It's a lot of stuff. Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Okay, fine. All right. So global data is null. Difficulty is null. Intensity. So where are we getting this stuff? These things are being set every frame. These are being cleared every frame. Oh boy. See, this is the problem. Is that there's a lot of different code idioms going on here. Depending on the programmer who worked on the thing. But so I'm clearing that data in here, and this is getting reset every frame. So I have no way of knowing if all this is being handled correctly. If there's anything that's being so I mean, if there's stuff that's happening in the constructor, see if we can find that. There's not one, so that answers that. Oh no, wait, it's initialized data. I think. I don't remember now. That's a different class. No initialized data on this one. Okay. So let's try something less recent. Let's look at the zombies. All right, the anti-AI zombies we've got here. Well, you know, usually it will highlight the thing I was looking at on the side. Oh, it is. All right. Anti-AI zombie. What do we got here? Have loaded data. Again, this is the external stuff. External. Problem, probably. Also, maybe a problem. But I don't think so. If it's human zombies, then it's resetting it. All right. And it's, so this is just working. That's reset every time too. Yeah, okay. So everything is reset every frame. We're good. So I mean, I guess let's see how quickly we can identify that now. So I mean, anti-player zombie is going to be very similar, I would think. Yeah. Anti-everyone zombie. Yeah. No, that's a little different. No, that's the exact same. Okay, so I guess I'll just leave that same comment. I meant to do not that one. Okay, so natural object. Why not? I don't think it says anything. Yeah. Yeah. It's clearly a nothing. All right. Nanocost. That's a nice old one. Maybe extra likely to have an issue for that reason. Leave this comment until I confirm it's not true. All right, that's always the same. Ditto. Okay. Same deal. I don't know why. Seed near player. Let's see. Allegiance. So the question is going to be, how often do these get set? I'm not going to be able to find out like that. Allegiance is equal. So update allegiance. All right. Mainly it's in update allegiance. How often do we do this? Update allegiance here. This stuff gets reset every frame. I mean, clearly some are having a problem, but this one does what it needs to. And then this is upsetting, resetting. So I mean, all right. So there's these things. They're all working lists. They're cleared every time it runs. Um, you know, Badger's a C++ guy, so it makes sense. This reminds me of C++ code. Um, so yeah, all right. I would say verdict is that, yeah. Um, the Zenith trader thing, that was certainly a problem one. So that just means we're gonna have to do this manually each time. So I guess I'll look at the new territory dispute stuff. This is Stark Help. Those are the things that are always the same. All right, so cached constants, nicely labeled. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Leave those cached constants alone. Intensity, lobby settings. This is coming when? It's doing it every frame. So yeah, that makes sense. Hostile to AI by default. This update lobby settings, which I'm guessing is every frame. So this is a seeding. Oh no, doing the other two. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So all that stuff is lobby settings, just being pulled in for convenience. These are constants, except they're static, but why not? I could tell looking at them they were constants. Okay, well, we could in theory be getting into trouble now. Update the team's collection. Yeah. Okay. Oh. This is nope. I just missed it. Happening every frame. All good. This is for the background thread only, so I'm sure it's being cleared every frame. Whoa, that's not clear. Eh? All right, I don't. Can't make a constant out of a thing like that. All right, read only. Yes, I know this cannot happen. Just a minor bit of efficiency there. Well done, Stark Help. There was a second one in here, wasn't there? This one. Oopsies. Team data. Set every frame. It's getting pulled from places that are okay. This is assigning these things if they're null. It's a pattern we've had around various places, but it's honestly leads to messy code. I'm not having very good examples to show you because everything has been done so well. There are worse problems to have. Yeah, it's all good. That's all these things are. I mean, this is petty stuff here. I mean, a lot of this is stylistic. It's by making it read only, I can verify correctness. That we know this never gets cleared or reset in some sort of way. We don't have to do the question mark checks on there to see, is this null or not. So I mean, it's like something else kind of old. Special faction risk analyzer. So this is a contender for maybe being a problem. Static read only string, const, in other words, exo data. If it's null, get it. Or create it if it's not found. Alright. Problem. Alright. Hey, got one for however many. Have loaded data. This is going to be all that cache stuff again. Yep. Cool. All of these thingies are... This is nice. This is actually organized in the order it is in the file. That's handy. So, that makes it easier when people have grouped stuff. So, risk analyzers for UI. That gets cleared every frame. Okay, because it's only using the method below, which means it's going to be cleared every time. Yep. Cool. Just to be really clear about things. Right. So, risk analyzers. Let's see what the data was on here. So we got our exo data. This thing has... it's about exogalactic warp strikes. So it doesn't really strike me as being... Why does it even have this? Is he using it? Number of exos so far, strength of growth for next exo. I see. So, yeah. Oh, this is needed. Some of this maybe would have been set, but you would have also potentially gotten strong early exos in the game from this. So that is a 100% definite consequence of the way that was coded. So that's the sort of needle in haystacks we're looking at, evidently. It's a very low hit rate, but when you find it, that matters. This would have been something that would never have caused an exception, would never have caused truly bizarre behavior, like the Zenith Trader sitting on one planet for 45 minutes. But it would have caused things like if somebody had been playing for a while, let's say 35 minutes or even 40 minutes. And then they start up another game. Then they suddenly get a ridiculously strong XO 5 minutes into their new game, and they go, "What's up with that?" And we then start chasing some crazy bug up a rabbit hole for, like, we wouldn't necessarily know where the XO came from or why, because usually the player's already moved on. They're just giving us a verbal report or a written report, not a save game of the XO in progress. And even if the XO is in progress, it may not be marked fully for us to know where it came from. So we'd have very few tools to hunt this down. So hence the importance of doing this review of your own code. All right. Thanks.